who's talking on tonight's podcast is the Nat Out Dialogues with Zonase Brown,
Pedro Lopez,
Taylor Wu,
Isabella Ortega,
and Michelle Nwaku, with tonight's topic being the living quality of races in America. We will be talking about the pay gap among women of different minorities, and later talking about environmental racism with a poll to gauge if the public knows what it is.
did y'all know women make only 83 cents to a dollar compared to a man? That's almost a 20% decrease, my bad.
20% is honestly that's a pretty crazy number, really, because if you really think about it, a guy can earn 100K, but a woman will only earn 80K. That's a difference of 20K. With 20K, you can go for a vacation to Miami for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. A lot of money someone probably needs and probably isn't getting to support themselves. It's really unfair that just because you're a woman that you are getting less money.
You're missing out on the vacations and everything.
So you could also be missing out on vacations and relaxation, having to work more to support yourself.
Yeah, but many people theorize that this is because men work harder or just are capable of more things than women are.
Well, intellectually wise, we're the same. We might think differently or have different opinions on things, but it doesn't mean we're not able to intellectually think of something or come up with something, invent something. For example, there's probably a lot of inventions that women have created that has helped the scientific community. For example, there was a woman who invented a method that helped the people studying stars to make it easier to gauge the distance of stars.
Was that helpful though?
It was helpful. It was an easier way, and it led down the line to even more progress by creating variations of her work.
What are your thoughts about this, Isabella?
I think it's unfair that women get paid less because even though men are physically stronger than women, that doesn't mean that women aren't doing their jobs to the same quality that men are doing them.
Facts.
I also agree.
There's also the fact that when the industries, they usually aren't thinking about equality and stuff when they're thinking about paying the woman. They're doing this because they're exploiting the overarching view that women should be in the household and that they don't even need that money because there's a man that's making that money for them. So they're just using the public's perception to get away with paying them less because if they pay them less, they get more money.
Corporate greed.
Yeah, but this also pay gap might encourage women to leave the workforce because they have children, right? Because the social norm is that women should stay home and be a housewife, clean kitchens, make food for the husband, and come home with a nice cold beer. But we should break that norm.
We should.
All right, next, we have a survey about environmental racism awareness. And from it, we can see that the majority of the people are unaware of what it even is. This may show that many do not know about environmental racism's effect and negative impact on our community. Thus, we are here to bring more attention and insight upon this matter.
Environmental racism is defined as the disproportionate impact of environmental hazards on people of color. The causes of environmental racism come from redlining, which is when services are withheld because of where the customer lives. Also, land use and zoning decisions, using the land for industries and dividing land into areas.
Black people are also more likely to live near landfills and other hazardous waste and are 3 times more likely to die from air pollution than white people. There are also many areas across the U.S. that have higher levels of cancer that are very populated by African Americans.
And this can be relevant with Atlanta, right? You can see that these warehouses and industries, they're growing here, right? I don't know if you guys noticed, but here in Industrial Boulevard, Thornton Road, and Favorite Road, right? You can see all these warehouses for Amazon, and these people who are making money, rich people, they don't take in regard of the races or the living qualities or the harm that these warehouses and factories are causing to the people around them.
Yeah.
So we can see that, that we should do something about it, right? We should make a law about how close a factory or a warehouse should be near our, neighborhoods or our families, right? We should make.
I agree with that. We shouldn't have to trade in economic gain for our health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this law, it could be simple as a radius of, you can't be near a neighborhood in a 5-mile radius. I think that would be somewhat effective and lower these percentages
caused by like bad air, which is also caused by these industrial plants.
Yeah.
But something that could hinder that law is that new houses and things are being built every day, and also new industries are also being built every day. So it's just like, how do you decide unless we decide where this and designate where the houses and stuff are going to be built, that law can't really be put into law.
But do we think like the corporate leaders of these industrial plants are just making a complete disregard to the different kind of people that lives in the community that surrounds the plant?
Not really, because it's almost like a curse and a gift. We really can't control something about it, and at the end of the day, it's something that we can't control, and it has to be like that. We're running out of space in the world, and yeah.
And I
don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
Really?
We should not have.
That's
to
like
be
saying
suffering.
that there should be something really atrocious should happen because it's
no,
just
but we
the
really
world
can't
is.
control about it.
What do you mean we can't?
How
You
can
just
we not
literally
control it?
said
Yeah,
a law
but no.
that you could put in place.
Yeah, and Mr. Wu brought up they may take in regard about this, and sometimes we can't. We're gonna put a industry in the forest where there's animals. It's a curse and a gift to have it. There's always gonna be a cause and an effect for it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be disproportionately affecting one group of people rather than another.
All right.
Also, I think corporations tend to lean towards minority areas because they want to attract more minorities, because corporations tend to pay minorities less than white people, so they want to spend less money and they want to get the most money possible.
Now it's time for a commercial break.
Now the last section of our podcast. Our previous sections have been based on a play turned into a book, A Raisin in the Sun. Now we'll talk about our analysis of this book.
We can see that all of this, that we've talked about correlates with this book, right? Environmental racism and the pay gap, right? We can see that the family didn't have enough money, right? And how prideful Walter was in his own selfish needs.
Yeah, Walter, of course, Walter's wanting of that money from Big Walter's death is not very agreeable, but it's understandable. He wants to provide for his family, and the only way he probably sees how, he's surrounded by rich people who own businesses. He sees them making deals when he walks past them. He wants to be like them, and by being like them, he can provide for the family and live his American dream of being the upstanding husband with Ruth as the upstanding wife. It's his ideal world that he wants to achieve so badly, he's willing to gamble on it, but that gamble fails. He wants this so bad. He wants to be the man of the house. Even Mama tells him, you rightfully should be the man of the house. But his wanting of that is basically driving him crazy throughout the book. His wanting is basically driving him to do something bad. Even he kind of doesn't.
Yeah, we can see that at the end of the book, how he wasted that entire $10,000, and it just went in the waste.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. It seemed like he wanted to do that either, because when it's lost, he cries out that that check was made out of his dad's flesh.
But I felt like he did want to do that because he literally took away the money. He didn't tell anyone about. Oh yeah, he did tell that, he did tell his family that he's gonna invest all that money, right? But he didn't take into account like, oh yeah, I have all this money, I'm gonna go invest it. He didn't say like, oh yeah, this is actually what I'm about to do. He wanted to do that. He wanted to gamble, like you said, right?
Yeah.
He had full intentions about doing that. And, that's completely his fault, and that ruined, their lives.
Yeah.
And it was really sad because one of the main themes in this book was that men don't get their support and things like that, so that it leads them to search for it in other areas, like how Walter did when he was going to the bar and drinking a lot, and how men, they have many coping mechanisms like that, and the family really didn't like that he was doing that, and they would admonish him for that very openly.
And I think that his definition of the man of the house was different than the rest of the family's definition, because they saw Big Walter as the man of the house, and he was like the protector of them. He defended them, their pride and whatever. And at the end of the book, Walter saw that when he defended the pride of the family. And in the end, he was the man of the house, but he didn't have any money. So
we could really see that from the beginning to end, Walter really did develop. Like, he went from this kind of like, was a full of himself guy, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
Money hungry, wanting to achieve that
dream. To like the end where he finally acknowledges about his problems, that he has to really solve it himself with everyone.
Yes. Also, in the ending, at the end, where Mama puts Travis in that room with Walter, wanting to show Walter's own son what decision he's about to make. The son, Travis being a representation of the next generation, the sixth generation, the future. If Walter were to take that money from Lindor and instead not buy the house, they'd be at square one all over again. And what would he have done then? Would he have just said to his son, "I'm sorry, this house we're gonna try something else"? What would he have said to his son if he had taken that money?
In what aspects? What do you mean?
If he had taken that money, what would he be showing his son? Would he be showing that people can be bought out? Is he showing his son that if people don't want you there, if people don't want there and they're willing to pay for it, you should take their money? Is that what he would be showing his son? Their family full of pride should put their pride down for money?
No, I don't believe that. But further understanding, right? Walter, his intentions, from the beginning, it was just to be a good father, wanted the best for the family, and we can see that every character in this book progressed and became a role model for us to look upon and learn from their examples, right?
Yeah, and every character in this book could be representing people. Mama could be the older generation. Ruth and Benita could be the woman that are inside, the black woman representing in the 1950s. And as Zanate said, Travis is basically the future generation. Like, how are they gonna make it, and what are the family doing, and black people as in general doing to better their chances?
So that was our podcast for today, discussing the pay gap among women and minorities compared to each other, environmental racism, and how it affects communities of color. Thank you for joining tonight. I'm Isabella Ortega.
I'm Zamase Brown.
I'm Pedro Lopez.
I'm Michelle Nwaku.
And I'm Kalen Wu.
And this was our talk about the living quality of races in America. This was Night Owl Dialogues. Hope you learned something new. Did anything we talk about today have an impact on your life? Be sure to reply.